What's going on there, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Craftavore Taste, and today we're digging into a beer from Southern Tier Brewing Company out of Lakewood, New York. This is none other than their S'mores, which is their Blackwater series on Nitro. So Nitro S'mores, man. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked about this. So this is an Imperial Milk Stout brewed with chocolate, graham cracker, and vanilla flavors added. Yeah, so I don't really, or haven't done many beers from Southern Tier on the channel. Probably best known for their pumpkin beer, Pumpkin. But yeah, Southern Tier was kind of one of those breweries that I was kind of super into in like around, I don't know, 2011, 2012. And what's kind of super interesting about them is that they were kind of outside of Pumpkin, right? And, you know, some of their IPAs, like I think 2X and stuff like that. They were kind of a bit more known for like dessert, like pastry stouts before dessert and pastry stouts were a thing. So like probably their most famous being chocolate, if anybody has seen that. And I know in subsequent years, they've gone ahead and done cinnamon roll and like all this other kind of stuff. And then here we are. As part of their Blackwater series, this is S'mores, so of course supposed to be like a s'more, and it's on Nitro in the can, which I assume via a widget, which is kind of awesome. So yeah, let's dive into this, man. Let's go ahead and take a look at the appearance, get the aroma tasted, and of course we're going to rate it, man. I'm kind of stoked about this. So I'm just going to pop a top on this guy pretty quickly, and then just right straight into that glassware. All right, so let's go ahead and get her started. Boom, big widget. Pour her straight into that glass. I do enjoy the 12-ounce format. That's pretty awesome, especially for a beer like this with 10% ABV. Can't imagine wanting any more of that, so that 12%, or excuse me, that 12-ounce format is actually perfect. So, yeah, let's just give the beer a little bit of a minute to kind of sit there with the Nitro. But, you know, as I was kind of mentioning, yeah, Southern Tier is kind of one of those breweries that, like, I was super into. You know, amazingly, it's kind of shocking that I can say this, like literally like 7 or 8 years ago. And they've kind of grown bigger in size, and I believe they've kind of formed a consortium, if I'm not mistaken, perhaps with Victory, where it's kind of a holding company where they then have gone out and made additional kind of purchases within the realm of craft beer and stuff like that. So, but obviously still kind of holding on to their independence in that perspective, and in that, you know, it's multiple craft breweries who've kind of teamed up to kind of create an ownership group versus being purchased out by, you know, larger kind of macro beer company or distilled spirits company or something of that nature, like AB InBev or Constellation Brands or whatever. Anyway, okay, enough background. Let's get into the beer. Beer has settled out, so let's take a look at the appearance. So yeah, she's come full on kind of jet black. About 1.25 fingers of just kind of the super kind of nice thick Nitro mocha head. Looks absolutely awesome. Can barely tell there are any bubbles in it. They're so small and so compact, just due to the Nitro, that it looks absolutely delicious, absolutely gorgeous. Looks incredibly creamy and decadent. Looks amazing. So let's go ahead and dive our nose into it and get an aroma. Yep. That's graham crackers. Yeah, so straight up in the nose, a breadiness from those graham crackers, right? So it's just a graham crackery kind of note, which, you know, is a kind of mixture of cracker, bread, and then, of course, just like a little bit of kind of like, you know, sweetness and maybe like a little bit of cinnamon kind of on the back end to kind of let you know that, you know, it indeed is a graham cracker. But yeah, it's all graham cracker. There's a little bit of sweetness there on the back end as well. I don't know. Is it made with lactose? That's a good question. I don't know. Doesn't really say. Yes, made with lactose sugar. Okay. So there we go. A little bit more sweetness obviously coming through via the lactose. And you get a little bit of vanilla there as well. I really don't get a tremendous amount of chocolate, to be perfectly honest with you. It's mostly dominated by graham cracker, vanilla, and then sweetness from the lactose, right? Like a milk sugar type, which obviously makes sense. It's an Imperial milk stout. It smells fun. All right, so let's dive into her and get her a taste. Cheers. Man. So the decadence definitely translates over in terms of the taste. The beer's sweet. Almost sweet to the point where I'm regretting taking that big of a sip. Because, yeah, I mean, first impressions is graham cracker, milk sugar, milk chocolate in the taste, definitely, which is interesting because I didn't pick up a perception or a note of chocolate in the nose, but it's absolutely there, and it's of a milk chocolate variety versus something like a dark chocolate. It's sweet. It's confectionery kind of sweet, right? So the descriptor of it being a dessert beer is actually kind of perfect because that's basically on the level of what it is. Another one of Southern Tier's most famous being creme brulee. And the reason why I bring that up is because there's a touch of creme brulee going on here. Like I get a toastedness, which I'm assuming is from those from the malt. And when you kind of combine that a bit with the sugars and the notes of the graham cracker, I do get like a bit of kind of like a bit of a kind of creme brulee, almost kind of like an egginess coming out of it. All right, so because it's a nitro can, right? I mean, obviously the mouthfeel of it is super kind of delicate, extremely creamy, very enjoyable as you're kind of sipping it back. The nitro just obviously does wonders for this from a dessert beer perspective. So gonna go taste another little bit and then we'll go ahead and give her a rating. It's tasty. It's really, really good. I mean, it falls into exactly what it says it's supposed to be, right? It's meant to be a dessert beer. It's something that's, you know, obviously to some degree a bit kind of over the top to some folks. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to say that that's absolutely for everybody. There is a pretty hefty dose of sweetness there that if you're into sweet things, right, and you're into kind of like sweet candy and like marshmallows and like, you know, really kind of decadent milk chocolate, you're going to absolutely love this beer. If you're not into those things, it might be a little bit over the top and a little bit too sweet for you. All right, so let's go ahead and give the Southern Tier S'mores Nitro Blackwater series a rating. I'm pretty comfortable with giving this I'll give it a 4 caps. It is exactly what it says. It's slightly too sweet for me, but that's just kind of my own kind of taste. And, you know, obviously going into this, you would probably assume that it's going to lend itself towards being that versus anything else. So, all right, 4 caps for the Craftavore taste for the Southern Tier S'mores Nitro. That'll do it for this episode. Hope you join me again for another episode where I drink, I review, I rate, and then I repeat. Cheers, guys.